this is going to sound like the ramblings of a maniac, I'm sure. So I feel like I'm probably no different than most everyone, right? Subscribe to all sorts of different people from all over the internet. But there's just this one particular corner. There's a lot going on, right? And I've sort of, as I have time, kind of catching little recaps and talking to people here and there and just sort of listening to, what I can when I can. And I've sort of arrived at this place where there's a lot of, I don't know, how can I say, a lot of introspective thought, like what I'm looking at, I used to be a crazy part of, and how blessed I feel to have, maybe as close as possible, matured to the age I'm supposed to be, right? With that, though, I'm watching all these different personalities. And in fact, right now, you can go on, and if you're in the right subscription chain, you can find about 5 or 6 different people all talking about each other. So when you go through your subscription feed, right? First video is talking about second video is talking about third video in the feed's talking about the first one, and so you catch my drift. And these situations are not typically just one person, right? It'll be a whole screen full of people all talking about number 1 and a whole screen full talking about number 3. And I guess overall it's sad. It's sad because it is twofold. Let me tell you first. It's sad because all of these personalities, they all sort of have one thing that's synonymous, I guess, which is charisma. I think that they all have a gamut of videos protesting the fact that they're charismatic. These people all have good traits and characteristics. But at the same time, there's like these glaring personality defects that now that I'm in the right state of mind, I can identify these defects in a lot of people because I can identify my own defects, right? They say one of the first steps to being emotionally intelligent is to first be able to identify your own emotions, right? It is only then when you can identify your own emotions that you can move on to sort of, with some sort of accuracy, not diagnose, but identify in other people what you can or can't see in yourself, right? So I'm watching all of these characters, and I think just when an outsider would just say, who were the people that used to be connected to Benny Keys? There's many. There's many that are active right now with the red light on, doing what it is they love to do, right? And so I just sort of skim through, because I'm laying in the bed right now, skim through, and I'm looking at a lot of it. And it's sad because I think of what these people could be accomplishing if they were just capable of identifying what it is with them that makes them feel the way they do about other people. I don't hate anyone, But tonight, I see a genuine hate coming from so many different people, and they are cheering it on. They are laughing. They are paying money for it. Um, and it's sad, right? But then the second fold of the twofold comes into play, and it's like, hey, guess what? If there were no YouTube, right? Take away the YouTube, what would these people be doing? Right? So then I sort of identify the fact that the YouTube is an outlet, right? In a sense that if these people didn't have a YouTube outlet, what would they be doing with themselves? And I'm guessing something way worse potentially than what they do when they're on the YouTube. I've seen people today do the wildest. And I think that brings me to yet a third facet or fold. I'm seeing the wildness, and for the first day in a long time, Ernie Shell is not involved in it. Ernie Shell he's absent from it all. And I think that a lot of the creators that have bounced Ernie around, like myself, like Nicolina, like a number of different people, when you look at the change in scenery, you see that the people that used to bounce Ernie around are no longer doing it. And when they speak about Ernie, they speak about Ernie in a way that there's, like, for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, I know I just want to see Ernie do the best version of Ernie that he's capable of doing. I heard something very similar from Nicolina the other day. She said, I just want Ernie to be the best Ernie he can be, essentially. And this isn't about Ernie, right? But a lot of these creators that have wound up the energy to do what they've been doing and what they're doing tonight specifically, it all revolves around a community that's here to bash Ernie, right? I get it. Ernie and we talk occasionally, and, Ernie knows how I feel about some of the things he does, and he takes it in stride. And so, in an off way, it's like these people were here to chase Ernie around. Nothing new, right? But at the same time, proof of theory or proof of concept tonight, you can see. If you're subscribed to any of the same people I am, you can see that it's the people that are usually after Ernie are now after someone else because Ernie's not available. So remove Ernie from it, and what you have is you just still have a group of people that aren't adulting well at all. The level of adulting is prepubescent. I'm being so sincere. And I think that's where I can really gauge my change in the choices I've made to change, that I see like the hate bonding. Like, the hate bonding is not something that happens in real life, right? It's like not a real life aspect. Gaslighting, I think, is sort of seeping in, but I think at one point it was really like one of those, internet dynamics, the deflection, all of the things, right, that makes someone not a cool customer on the internet are not really dynamics you have to worry about so much in life, right? So I think to be stuck with those defects means that you're not venturing into your real life as much as you stay fixated on your cyber image, right? I I used to I still do really detest um internet slangs or abbreviations like donos, like panel, like chat, like um content creator, like all of these cringy words that are like just internet words, right? Like I hate I hate gaslighting. I hate deflection. I hate bonding. Like try to find yourself in a hate bonding situation in your fleshy existence. But what I really hate is the whole go touch grass. Like most of you don't even own a lawnmower. What do you mean go touch grass? You're not going to rake leaves. You're not going to trim branches. You're not going to plant flowers. And I mean the creators that are doing what they're doing tonight. These people don't touch nothing except for a screen. Makes you wish for the BlackBerry days all over again. I swear it does. Anyways, um, terrible adulting. I used to be very good at it. Terrible adulting. I was a pro. I could run a clinic. I could sell seminars on how to be a crappy human being, how to be a crappy adult. And I've changed, right? For quite a while after I was really dead set on my change, there were people in my life that, they'd say, man, you got to celebrate the fact that you're not that way anymore. And that you make a conscious decision to not be that way anymore. And that you fight hard and you work hard to not be that way anymore, right? And for a while I was like, yeah, but when do I have people stop telling me to pat myself on the back because I'm just doing what every adult should be doing? When is it not a plausible moment or, a celebration? And so I was really sort of in a plateau, a flat line for a while about celebrating my change, celebrating the acceptance of change. Like I look forward to change. A lot of people will fight it kicking and screaming, um, with everything they have. And I guess me being able to identify how poorly the adulting is a blessing for me. But at the same time, it sucks to see a lot of people who I think have characteristics, if they were pointed in the right direction and not at themselves. Like, point your high-powered perception at yourself and see what you come up with. Don't point all of those cliche, unrealistic internet words at yourself and then try to measure your ego against it, right? I mean, what's the sense in that, right? Try to be the best version of you, right? Look for the next right thing to do. There are 20 people I could be tearing up on this internet right now, and there would be a crazy big audience to watch it happen. I just refuse to. In fact, for a moment earlier tonight, I thought that I might come on and really give an uncommon sense coverage of two people in particular. I want to say a man and a woman, but it's really just a boy and a girl trapped in adult bodies. And I spoke with a woman who gave me, you know who you are, gave me as good advice as I've had in the past 3 or 4 months. And she was like, don't do it. It's not worth it, right? It's not going to change anything. And in fact, we don't need you to do that anymore. She said, we need you to continue being who you are now. And as much as I loved to hear that advice, and it was sort of that attaboy pat on the back thing, it was also a glimpse into myself that I still got some work to do. I'll always have work to do, right? And that even someone who I have had times of tumultuous relations with would honestly not want me to go back, even for just a moment, and toil and fiddle with something that is beneath me, right? So to that woman, I love you, baby. You hear me? I love you. To the rest of y'all, step your game up, right? If you want to have nice things in life, and I don't mean material things, I mean, if you want to have nice relationships, if you want to feel good about yourself, if you want to do all of the things that adults all over the world have been doing for centuries, you got to check yourself, right? You got to check yourself and realize what it is you're doing and be able to do that in real time, right? And if you can't do that in a non-egotistical manner or fashion, listen back to yourself. And if you don't find the you from 1 hour ago that's cringy, you're not ready. You're not ready. And, you know, my wish for everyone here that I've ever had a problem with, I want to see you doing better than the last time I seen you doing bad, right? And straight up. And before I close out here, I want to say to Killer Looks, bro, glad you're still alive, homie. Yeah, you done cooked off one of them personalities, but I am glad you are still alive, homie. The world is a better place with you. You dig? And to White Boy Radio, Matt, man, I'm glad to see you doing better than the last time I seen you doing bad, homie. Like it's strange when you shift your perspective, right? It's strange when I spent 3 years not caring about nothing that happened in people like Matt's life to now just adjusting my perspective. And now I want the best for everybody. I don't care who you are, right? I want the best for everybody. I don't want to see nobody sick. I don't want to see nobody broke. I don't want to see nobody hurting. But I get it, right? A whole bunch of this internet, it's not the internet if you don't have the fractured people to talk about. Right? I get it. So, anyways, I even want the best for Jody Sue. I swear I do. I promise. Right? So, anyways, all of that being said, yeah, let's be the best versions of ourselves we could be. With that being said, remember the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. And I love all of y'all individually. Have a great night.